Episode 77 of Dragon Ball Super is officially in the books. We are wrapped up. We're now kickstarting the Universal Survival Arc. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Punch that subscribe button if you're new, and we're going to talk about my just general thoughts on the episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode was pretty much exposition. It's just basically Goku going over to Beerus, and just matter of fact, before we do that, Goku is just trying to go ahead and figure out how to train, because prior to that they set up the plot that, hey, some time has passed, Goku has gotten rusty, he's been farming, he's been making money, which is cool. It's cool to see him do that, right? You know, in the context of the show, it's cool to see him do that. It doesn't mean that it's actually cool to watch, but I digress, you know what I mean. So basically some time has passed, Goku's gotten rusty, so he's like, oh well, you know, because it was this cool fight scene between him, air quotes up for the fight scene, because they didn't really have much of a chance, right? But you know, it's a cool scene there with Goku deflecting the bullets from the farmer guy or whatever that guy was that tried to get over on him and rob him, that whole little crew. And so he turns around, he gets grazed by a bullet there, which is a little different, you know, after seeing him basically just get rid of all of them. And it's not like he was off guard to the degree, at least, that he was with Sorbet, because obviously that impaled him. This time he was just like, hey, I got it. He basically deflected it, but it still was able to injure him, and this is a regular bullet fired by a regular human. So they're really playing it off like, hey, he's gotten really weak, which I think is kind of dumb. They didn't have to do it that way. It's a bit of an inconsistency, but it gets the point across. So I mean, it is what it is. It serves its purpose to allow for you, the person watching the show, to understand that he is rusty. Not that he's weaker, he's just off his game. He's not in tip-top shape. So pretty much from there, he goes over to Beerus' planet after meeting Bulma, seeing that she's pregnant and stuff like that, and trying to talk to Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, no, I need to stay here for my wife. And like, man, Master Father Vegeta, it just gets better and better with this guy. I've said so many times throughout all the reviews since I've done review episode 1. Vegeta's a completely different character in this series, and I love it, man. He's had so much development. I love it, I love it, I love it. But I digress again. Master Father Vegeta and Goku, he has to go get, you know, I forget what they were, but he had to get some sort of delicacy for Whis, obviously as an offering for Whis to train him like every other time. And funny thing is, Goten was trying to go with him. He's like, yeah, I want to be strong like you, da-da-da-da-da. But we know how Goten will turn out. Not looking at GT, but looking at the end of Z, he didn't really too much care. Goku's forcing him to train and stuff like that, so he'll probably wind up the same way, because that's just kind of how these half-breeds are. They don't really care to fight or train unless they have to. So at least it's cool to see him here like, hey, I want to fight, I want to get strong as dad, da-da-da. And Chi-Chi's there. I'm not too hard on Chi-Chi, I never have been, but I know people despise her because she doesn't like to let characters fight, and they're like, oh, it's Dragon Ball, they don't need to train. But, you know, regardless, it's cool for an author to want for his story to be as realistic as possible, and she's one of those realistic characters because she's a traditional mother. She's like, hey, I don't want you out there fighting, you know, but it is what it is. Some people can't understand that. So that being said, we get over to Beerus' planet, and Goku wants to go off and basically train, but he doesn't have a training partner. And he's like, oh wait, speaking of fighting, what happened to that tournament thingy that we talked about? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go over to Zeno's place and have him, you know, set this all up for me so I can fight all these cool guys. And Beerus is like, whoa fam, no, you need to relax, because he may seem innocent, but he's dangerous. And we know this because I didn't talk about it, but in the beginning of the episode, we see the two Zenos sitting there chilling, basically playing with the planets. And, you know, it's a real thing. They're sitting there playing and flicking the planets, and they're actually literally destroying. So I felt really bad whenever Goku goes there and they knock over the board with all of those planets and they just get destroyed and stuff. I'm like, damn, that whole universe basically just got destroyed. You know, all the people, the inhabitants, whatever it was, man, it's all gone. That's really crazy. The level of power this guy has is ridiculous. So pretty much from there, Goku is, you know, he goes over there. They have some gags. Like, I don't know which of you guys is the one that set this up, but I want this to happen. They're like, okay, we'll do it. And Beerus was about to put Goku on his ass, but he wound up not doing it. I think that it's because Beerus does have a soft spot for Goku at this point. There was a drop line in there where he's like, you want to be a god of destruction, but you don't train. So it's a little weird, because if you remember, I don't know where they were going with that. Like I said, that's why I called it a drop line. It may not ever have any sort of significance or relevance. But if you remember back around episode 16, Whis was like, hey, if you want to Vegeta. He's like, hey, if you want me to train you, you've got to become the next god of destruction. Also, he also offered the position to Goku, I believe, prior to that in the Battle of Gods arc. So I don't know where they're going with that. Maybe that's some sort of endgame material they're setting up later on. Let me know your thoughts on that. But honestly, I just think that it's going to be just a throwaway line that they put in there. Don't really have any relevance to that. It kind of reminds me of Kaguryu no Kaze's theory, which I put up a while ago. You know, he knows what I'm talking about. But once again, getting into the crux of the episode after that, Goku chills with them, goes back home. Beerus punches him. He's like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. And then the Daishinkan arrives on the Supreme Kai's planet where Goku, Whis, Beerus all went over to basically await his arrival. So he tells them what's going on, and pretty much we now have the beginning of our tournament. And the episode ends with shots of all these guys. You know, it ends with shots of all the guys that are going to be partaking, and they don't know what's going on, and the narrator's like, and they're going to embark on a new journey, and I'm like, oh, this is so hype, bro. It is so hype because, you know, we're going to get to see all these characters, and I'm most hyped for, like, characters like Gohan, because Gohan is long overdue for his time, not just because he's my favorite character, but I just feel like he's just had so many situations where he's not been involved in anything. Like, I mean, the only time he's really been involved, I mean, he rushed Beerus in the Battle of God saga, and then in the following arc, he did what? He fought the Frieza Grunts, and then he was completely removed from the next arc, and then he was removed from the Trunks arc, and, you know, the Patafu stuff, we don't really count, but he's just been waiting. He's not doing anything, and they keep playing his character up. Hey, I'm training, I'm not training, I haven't trained in a while. Oh, I've got a movie, Great Saiyan Man. You know, so I feel like he is ready for it. I don't feel like most of the other characters on the squad have had that much, you know, build up. Like Piccolo hasn't done anything. He's not done a damn thing. He's just been chilling, being babysitter. That's no shade to Piccolo. It's just they haven't done anything with him. Same thing with Krillin. I mean, Krillin's been a family man and a cop, sure, but they haven't built him up in any other way. So aside from him, I think that it would be really cool to see. I do think that Krillin had a little bit more development in the last few episodes, of course, but I think that Android 17, being a character we're not accustomed to anymore, at least, can offer a lot to this. So let me know your thoughts as well in regards to that. But, you know, kind of just wrapping it up here. It's going to be lit. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really cool to see all these characters. And just the last little talking point, the animation, the episode, just the way that it was animated, the art, everything like that. I personally will say I thought the episode looked phenomenal. I thought that the style that they went, the filter that was on it, if you will, I think that it looked really, really good in my opinion. Some people may or may not have liked it, but it looks better than that tacky style that they do most of the time to me. Like, I just felt like that in conjunction with the ending sequence, you know, the manga panel thing that they do at the end of the episode, and, you know, transitioning from there into the next episode preview, and prior to all that, the new introduction to the show that they have, all that fit really well, and Dragon Ball Super looked like a really modern style anime. Just I can't really explain it really too well. I can't articulate it, but it just looked really good and fluid all the way through. Like, I have nothing against Chozetsu Dynamic, but I feel like it kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit, and I feel like, you know, the different outro songs, and that's what most animes do, is they stick with one and they have a bunch of outro songs that change and cycle through. I just feel like it just didn't flow too well at some points, and this was really fluid from start to end. Like, I really did enjoy this episode, even though not much really happened. Like, there was no action. It wasn't a particularly funny episode. It wasn't really a slice of life episode. It was just like, it was a good episode, just a solid episode. Nothing crazy, phenomenal, it was just a solid episode. So, last little bit, talking about the intro, like, that new song, I was like, wait, hold on, because I was so used to skipping it, because, once again, I have nothing against Chozetsu Dynamic, but I heard the song for 75 episodes, I'm like, nah, skip, I'll just get into it, skip the narrator, too, because I know what happened last time. I even reviewed it, so I know for sure, but I think that it was really good. I don't remember most of the lyrics. I'd have to listen to it a few more times, of course. I just heard it, you know, for a few seconds a moment ago. But I thought that the art that they chose to use, the animation that they chose to use with the song that they chose to use, all that fit really well. So the arc, honestly, they're putting a lot of time and a lot of resources into this. I haven't really seen them put so much time and resource into most of the show, in my opinion. Like, with the Champa arc, they put some in there. Like, they were pushing that, and then they started heavily pushing the Trunk stuff. But this seems like this is their most anticipated arc so far. Like, they are massively pushing this next arc. So we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, and we're just going to see how this all plays out. But let me know your thoughts on the episode. Are you hype? Are you excited for it? Did you like the new opening sequence with the girl Broly in there and that one guy that they showed so many times fighting Goku, and all the different sequences and scenes with Goku in that opening as well? I thought that was really, really good, and I like the conclusion for it. They were like, oh, even Zeno-sama will be blown away. I was like, oh, this is dope. But let me know your thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new, because we do this all the time, every week. I've been doing it since episode 1. I'm not new to this, but I'll catch you guys later. Peace.